Thanks for watching, everybody, and welcome to Poe Outdoors, coming to you from the Poe Homestead Archery Shop bench here. And I'm going to do a sharpening video for you today on the VPA, Vantage Point Archery 3-blade fixed head. Just about indestructible, obviously resharpenable. Great company, exceptional people, made here in the United States of America in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Not far from my house, in fact. No moving parts. Nothing to break, nothing to exchange. You just resharpen them, put them back in a quiver, and they're good to go. And now I'm going to do 3 blades today, but I do have a single bevel video as well here on YouTube. Check it out down in the description if you're a single bevel shooter or interested in seeing what it takes to get those sharp. 3 blades are very, very simple to sharp. People are intimidated by fixed heads, whether it be tuning or resharpening. And I'm going to show you today out of the package just how simple it is. Before I get rolling, 2 things. Garage door's open. It's kind of overcast and rainy today. I like that sound when I'm working in the shop like this. So never mind cars going by or construction, anything you hear. That's kind of part of it when the door's open. But it's comfortable. I like it, and it just helps me kind of concentrate on my work. Number 2, there are different ways to do just about anything, including sharpening broadheads. I'm going to show you the way that I have done it to get these heads hair-popping sharp. In fact, I'm going to take my watch off. It's that time of year. I do a lot of broadheads. And you might notice right here the big bald spot. I'll just leave the watch off for now. But yeah, these heads will be razor sharp, hair popping by the time I'm finished. And I'm going to show you these before I get rolling. You can see the difference. This one is one that I have already sharpened. And you're going to see the difference in the shininess on the edge there, how honed and polished it is versus the one that's out of the package. Now, the one that's out of the package that hasn't been sharpened, it's not dull by any stretch of the imagination. And in a pinch, you could hunt with it, especially small game. I personally am of the opinion that if we're going to spend time tuning our bows, making sure our arrows fly perfectly, putting a good quality fixed head on the end of that arrow, let's make it as sharp as possible so we can harvest these animals as ethically as we possibly can. They deserve that respect from us and that treatment, okay? So some things you're going to need to sharpen a 3-blade is obviously a stone. I've got one with 4 different grits, a 2, 3, 4, and 600. And that's going to be dependent on if your blade is right out of the package or if your blade has been shot maybe in targets, maybe it's hit some stones, some twigs, the ground. Maybe it's gone through an animal and you need to touch it up. Now, I do have another stone, and this is basically only in cases where it has been dinged up. You have run it through some really hard stuff, bounced it off a boulder, and you need to put an edge on it. You're going to start with a really rough grit stone. But out of the package, and even to resharpen year to year, you're never going to need that for these VPAs, all right? So you've got your stone. You're going to need some oil, which I have to grab. You are going to need some 1,000 and 2,000 grit sandpaper, and those come in packages of 10. I think these are $6 or $7, and these will last 3 seasons probably. So it's really inexpensive to get what you need. Some polishing compound. This is from Harbor Freight. It's just a green. Don't ask me why I went with green. I just thought, why not? And that stuff will last years as well. We've done a lot of broadheads with that. And I personally use the back of a waffle box. That's exactly what it is. You can see cereal box is fine as well, just that thin cardboard. We're going to put the compound on that, and we're going to strop, put the finishing shiny razor sharp edge with this right here. Yes, believe it or not, with a piece of cardboard and the polishing material. So before we get started, I'm going to take a brief pause. Let me grab my oil and we'll get started. All right, sorry about that. I had to grab my 3-in-1 oil. It's what I like to use. This brand is older than I am. I remember this when I was a little kid. You may have a favorite honing oil, something else you use, and that's cool. That's fine. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys use, and I may have to give it a shot. I'm always open to learning new things, but the 3-in-1 oil works perfectly for me. So let's get things rolling. Out of the package, I'm going to go ahead and hit this with a 400 grit stone very lightly first, and I'll move to the 600, then to the 1,000 grain, and then the 1,000 grain or 2,000 grain to finish it before going to the strop. All right, now the method that I use is very simple. I'm going to put the blade down, and when you set this 3-blade down from VPA on a stone, it's at the proper angle. So you don't have to manipulate the blade, do anything like that, which can be kind of dangerous. The nice thing is about this, you get a good grip on the side of the blade. I usually wrap a finger kind of under the threads there, and it helps me support it. You might want to add a shaft on the end. Some people do that, maybe even wear a glove. Totally up to you. Your safety is your concern. This is the way I like to do it, and I like to feel it in my hands, kind of feel it as it goes across the stone so I know what kind of progress I'm making, okay? All right, so let's get things rolling. I'm gonna use a count. It's very simple. It's just gonna be 3 strokes, moderate pressure. I won't need to really smash this down hard at all. If you have a dinged up blade from shooting it into really hard items, then you might have to. So there's 3. We're gonna go 2. All right, and I'm gonna go 1. You can use any count you want. I like using the 3-2-1 count or the 5-3-1 count because I know where I am, and it's hard to screw that up. And if you happen to forget where you are at 3-2-1, it really isn't that big a deal. What you don't want to do is take 8 passes on one side, rotate it and take 4, rotate it and take 3. You want to stay consistent so the amount of material you remove is even. All right, that's actually feeling pretty good there. Let's go with a few more here. I'm just going to go 3 more on each side. A lot of this is feel. You're going to have to just learn, develop a technique. I'm just going to hit 1, 1, and 1. Like I said, you'll just have to develop a technique that you're comfortable with, that works. Oh yeah, very, very, already changing that angle nicely. So let's go ahead and take it to the 600 grit. And this stone is nothing fancy, just a diamond stone from Harbor Freight. It's done a lot of broadheads with no problem and not much money spent, all right? So we're gonna go a little bit lighter pressure than we just used. So remember that as you go down in grit, you wanna use less pressure. We're not trying to take that much material off. We're putting more of a polishing edge on it, removing that burr off the backside. So we leave a nice sharp edge. And I'm just going to hit this one 3 times on every side, twice. Again, it's a really easy number to remember. Oh yeah, good progress already. I'm going to show you this, wipe the oil off, and I'm careful to wipe it off. I don't want to dull those too much, but you can see we're already starting to get a little more shiny than we were. So we're already starting to get there. That actually feels pretty good. Yeah, it even catches a thumbnail nicely. That's definitely, you could definitely hunt with that without question. I'm going to go ahead and hit 2 more light passes on each side. And again, there's so much feel with this. You have to figure out what is going to work for you, all right? Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so we've got our 1000 grit and our 2000 grit. And I'm gonna go with 3, 2, 1. And I'm only going to drag them, all right? I almost push that without, sometimes you lose your concentration when you're talking. I typically like to turn my music on and just roll with it. I wanna pull the blade this time. I push it on the stone, I pull it from here on out. So on the fine grit sandpaper as well as the strop, I pull it, okay? Some people go side to side. I've seen some different methods and people get an edge that is very impressive. So it doesn't matter how you do it, as long as you do it and you put the time in that's required to put an edge on these broadheads, again, that these animals deserve. Honestly, we want to inflict as much damage as we can, as much hemorrhaging on that animal as possible to make sure that the harvest is quick and ethical. All right, and moderate pressure again, light moderate I should say, as I go down in grit. Very nice. Let's throw the 1000 grit aside. This is a 2000 grit. I'm going to go with pretty light pressure here. I'm actually going to go 5 strokes. And then we'll put it on the hone, on the strop with the honing material, and we'll see how we do. Now, sometimes you get to that point, even to this point, and you start feeling the blade and you go, you know, it's just not quite there. I need to go back to the stone, back to the 1000 grit, whatever it might be, but you'll figure that out as you learn. I think this one's ready to go ahead and strop. She's actually feeling really good. One quick tip that I do with the strop is you basically just take this and color it like a kindergartner. I go across as I drag across it. It's kind of like grain. I don't want the blades to go with it. I want them to go across it and get the most out of that compound that I can, all right? So we're going to pull this 3 each side. Now you will occasionally have one that you have to spend a little bit more time on the stone with. These things rock well hard. So while they're definitely workable and easy to sharpen with a little experience and a little time, you do have to feel your way through sometimes. That edge is just incredible. And we'll go ahead and show you up close there. You can see the shine on that thing. We're going to see how she shaves. Absolutely popping hairs right off. Hopefully you can see them on the there. It'll pop them both ways. Just be careful doing this. There's some right on there. Some loose ones there as well. So there it is, guys. Hair popping sharp in a matter of minutes. The VPA 3 blade, it's not as intimidating and scary as some people want to lead you to believe. Just put some time into the learning process. Be careful and go ahead and make the switch. If you're thinking about moving to a fixed blade head, guys, I mean, nothing can fail. This head can't fail. It's not going to break. It's not going to bend to the point of that it's not usable. You're going to get solid penetration. And I have read online where guys have used these for 7, 8, 9 kills. They'd shoot an animal, resharpen it, put it back in a quiver, and it's almost like a game to them. So that's it, guys. Hair popping sharp. I just contributed to my bald spot on my arm there. Just a few days away here from hunting season in Indiana. We at the Poe Outdoors crew are really, really pumped. Make sure you check out VPA, linked in the description down below, as well as the single bevel broadhead sharpening video, and it's linked down below as well. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate the support.